when we were developing the programs like the Innovation Hotspot, the UAlbany Innovation Center, and working on Startup New York, which is another economic development program that we oversee that helps connect companies with the university. We thought that we should put a structure around an internship program. Actually, Matt Grattan, who's my predecessor, named the program. So I think it's very fitting, and it was really to provide students with that hands-on entrepreneurship and innovation experience. It's, connecting students with paid internships at startups, any other kind of institutions that are related to entrepreneurship. So really being able to give them that experiential learning opportunities. So we decided not to keep it just for UAlbany students. We really wanted it open up to students across SUNY system for those that are coming home. So it originated just as a summer internship opportunity, but now, as we'll go into, it has expanded. So yeah, that's a little bit of history on SPEED. So we're excited to tell you a little bit more about the program.
Thank you, Maria. All right, Kate.
Great. And I'm going to share my screen here so that I can present some slides. Is that all right? Do I have permission here? Looks like I do. All right. How's that look? Everyone see okay? All right. Have to get my Zoom back after that moves all of my stuff around here. Excuse me. Okay. So thank you so much, Maria, for sharing about the beginning of this program. I'm here today representing the Minerva Center for High Impact Practices, which I know is a mouthful. The idea of high impact practices is based on educational research that has identified key opportunities that students engage in that change their outcomes as students. They increase graduation rates, increase student success, student ends up with higher GPAs. And so we're an office that's dedicated to supporting these high impact practices on campus. Examples of such high impact practices are internships. And so that's why we work in this space, and it's why we support the SPEED program as well as a number of other internship programs for students. Since I came on at the end of July, just about 8 months ago, and also our program director in experiential education, also Kate Showalter. So she and I worked together. She started it just a couple weeks after I did. And so we're both completely new to the program. Our assistant dean here, and I'm just going to show you the sort of organization of our center. Our assistant dean, Daphne Amilcar Rodriguez, also started at the same time. So all three of us are entirely new to our office, to the program. And then Kate Showalter and I are both new to Albany as well. So we have a lot of new perspectives, not a lot of history in these programs. And so we took on the SPEED program, and we saw a lot of opportunity here to support our students in the mission of increasing student success, because what we find when we talk with students is that they are driven for internship and early professional experiences. They want these experiences. It's one of the primary things that they think about when they come to college. How am I going to get these early professional experiences in a field that's relevant to my future? And so knowing that, and knowing that we have these amazing partners with our campus incubator, as well as incubators around Albany, we are interested in building this program out in a way that supports both our students' success as well as supports your growth as small businesses and entrepreneurs and startups in the Capital District. And so we see lots of opportunity for growth here, and we hope that you will join us and think about how to grow this program to support these students and your work as well. So we're in experiential education. We also have first year programs are in our office now. So first year experiences, living learning communities, which are really residential learning experiences for students in their first year. We also have a new financial coaching program that's actually federally funded. We'll see how that goes. A federally funded program to support financial counseling for students. And it's a study that we're starting out this next fall. So that's all within this Center for High Impact Practices. So in this program, we support, in addition to the internships, we also support undergraduate research and community engaged learning, project-based learning, mostly faculty driven. We do also support badging and micro-credentials. So if that is something that you would be interested in developing some relationship to credentialing, that's something we could talk about, a way that your experience for students, for example, could lead to a credential of some sort. All right. So the SPEED program, SPEED stands for the SUNY Program in Experiential and Entrepreneurial Development. It's quite a mouthful, but we got this great acronym SPEED here. So just a quick overview of the SPEED, and I do want to note that I have a fair amount of information to share with you today. And this is one of the first times that we are putting a presentation together for a group of partners. We've mostly been reaching out individually so far. So I apologize in advance. It's not going to have a lot of visuals because we're so early in this process of program development. So please bear with me as I share with you a bunch of information. I will share the slide presentation with Nancy so that she can share it with you so that you don't have to read it all right now. So you can go back to it. And today I am joined by Rebecca Seavey, who is our graduate assistant. Rebecca, if you feel comfortable, you can put your camera on and wave. Rebecca manages much of our program, and so I'll be bringing her in to talk about some of the specifics. So as an overview, SPEED provides early professional experiences for UAlbany students and SUNY students. So all SUNY students are able to come and register. However, we find that most of the students that are interested in this program are UAlbany students. And because we saw this concentration of interest from UAlbany students, given that we're here, we have expanded it from just the summer term to include fall terms and spring terms because we see that that meets students' needs. It is open to students in all majors. And while students are completing the internship, they enroll in an asynchronous online course that I'm one of the instructors of. Dr. Scholter and I instruct it together. And it provides a experiential learning structure for students learning in their internship. So they do reflections and then they document the projects that they're working on or the learning they're doing in their internship, and then produce a short or small portfolio around that so that they get accustomed to talking about what they're accomplishing and then prepare themselves to be able to talk about it in a future experience or in a future interview. Students in the program apply directly to the partners. So we are not placing students with a partner. Students are applying directly to the partners in a supported process. So we really want it to mimic a general employment process, even though it's a bit different in some key ways that I'll describe. And the number of hours that students work in this experience can vary quite a lot, from 3.5 hours a week up to 20 hours a week. So figuring out the right size opportunity, getting the right student, there's a lot of negotiation that happens in this process. And those partners who are here, who have worked with us previously, are familiar with this. It's a bit of a dance, figuring out the right amount of work for the right student and getting that student registered for the right number of credits based on the hours that they're doing. Right. So why would you get involved in SPEED as a startup you have a startup business, you're thinking about how to grow. Why would you get involved in this internship program? And I understand, I work with students. Students can be a fair amount of work. Of course, you're investing in their growing, in their learning. So it does take time and energy and a lot of careful consideration to have a successful opportunity for students. So why do it? Well, I think that one of the best reasons is that students are bright and they have a fresh perspective and they come with a lot of interest and energy that is unlike anything else. I just love this age group because they are coming with such a fresh perspective on the problems that we face in our jobs. And so I think that this is a wonderful way to begin growing your organization, especially if you're accustomed to working maybe by yourself or with a handful of other people. Beginning an internship experience or a set of internship opportunities can be a way to stage that growth in a very careful, thoughtful way. Because it forces you, working with interns, forces you to really articulate what it is that you're looking for in that growth period. And it's also short term. So you can try something out. You can say, hey, I want to try this. It's going to last for 3 months. So that's great for the students because they get a relatively, it's not going to be an entire year or 2 years on their part to begin with. And the same for you. So it's relatively low stakes trial. And also you are really investing in the future professional network of the capital region for your business. These students want to grow up and they want to continue to work with you. So they see themselves growing into these positions through their work with you. And so this is a great way to grow a community that supports your goals as a startup. And of course, it also helps you develop your relationship with UAlbany. And we'll be talking about that a little bit. As we develop the program, one of my goals is to make sure that partners feel like you have a meaningful relationship with UAlbany. All right. So one of the questions that comes up for partners when they think about this program, and this is one of the core questions for students as well, is what about remuneration? How do we handle the economics of having students on board working for a business? This internship program is a 4-credit experience for students. Because of that, thanks to New York State rules, they do not have to be paid. Because they are receiving credit, they do not have to be paid at the same time. We love for our students to be paid. When students are not paid, it can present barriers for their involvement. Many of our students need to be working, and so if they cannot receive payment for the work they're doing, they often are unable to do it. However, we also understand that there is great professional learning for students to do with startups and small businesses, with entrepreneurs, and that many of these organizations like yourself do not have the capital to fund student work, but you do have the expertise and you do have the insight to support students learning. And so we're really trying to make space here where people who have the desire to support students and young professionals can come together with students who desire to be supported and mentored, and that we can help you find each other and work together. Now, we would love to have payment opportunities. There is a stipend here on campus that students can apply to for unpaid internships. So we make sure that all students have information about that. But many of our students come to us. I just had a conversation this morning with a student who said, I just want to do an internship and I really don't care if it's paid or unpaid. I need to get this work experience. And especially by that junior, senior year, they're really feeling I need professional experience. It's how I'm going to launch myself into future paid opportunities. And so students are very eager to have meaningful professional experiences. Right. If you want to work with UAlbany students, there are some key things to know about them. They are wonderful students. They are hardworking, resilient, and persistent. They are also very busy. So one of the things that we're looking for with our partners is to find partners who understand where the students are coming from. Many of them are working 1 to 3 jobs in order to support themselves. And so they need to be able to afford their lives. So they're very busy doing all of this work. But they are also professionally driven. They're really forward facing and they're thinking about their future and how to make that happen. And so I think they're wonderful resources for a growing business. But it is important to realize that these students are not employees, they're learners in your business space, unless you're paying them and hiring them as employees. Again, this program is for all undergraduates. And so it can be a student from any major. We have business majors, we have communication majors, we have engineers who come to us looking for opportunities. We have a lot of cybersecurity students these days who are very interested in opportunities. Students from computer science and informatics, both students with a background in AI who want to do more AI work, as well as students who really want to do business development. So there's lots of opportunities here. I also routinely have students from accounting asking if there are any opportunities. So you might be thinking, as we go through this, what are the kinds of opportunities that my startup might be able to offer? And so you could be thinking in all of these different areas. All right. And this is one of the great things about this program, since it's for credit, is that it does offer students who are international students an opportunity to participate in an off-campus experience and get authorization for that off-campus experience. Visa authorizations can be very strict for international students. There's a lot of oversight for the kinds of activities that students do off campus. Because they are registered for a course, this speed program has been very attractive for international students. So you may see, if you work with us, a lot of international students applying, and they can be very talented and have a wonderful global perspective on their work. All right. We do ask that all of the students commit to the entire semester, and we've increasingly started to encourage students to think about 2 semesters of work. And so I'm asking them to think, hey, when you apply, make sure that you say if you're available for 2 semesters, since I realize that's something that a lot of partners are interested in. When students get involved with our program, they take Uni 288. That is the course that they enroll in. And this course, as I said, it's entirely asynchronous. So they do all of the assignments online. And they can take it from anywhere from 1 credit to 6 credits. And so this is a huge variation in the work that they do. For every credit that they are doing in the internship, they need to do 50 hours. I mean, every credit that they're taking in the course, they need to do 50 hours of work in the internship during the term. So what this works out to is that students who are doing 3 credits are doing about 10 hours a week during a 15-week term. And students who are doing 6 credits are doing 20 hours a week. So you can think of it that way, 3 credits for 10 hours a week of work. In the summer, it's a 12-week term. As you'll see, we'll talk about the timelines. It condenses it a little bit. Students, it's more about 12, 13 hours a week for the 3 credits. We encourage students and we encourage partners to be thinking in the 3 credit framework. So if you have something that's much less, that's possible. We can put that together. We can work with you on that. But 3 credits, that 10 hours a week, is a pretty sweet spot. It's doable for students. They get a lot of learning. And at the same time, it's not so overwhelming that they have a hard time completing the requirements. All right. We do ask that students submit weekly hours. So that is a kind of a perpetual challenge, and we're working through whether this needs to be weekly or whether we can do it a little bit less frequently, but still get students thinking about how many hours they're doing and whether they're completing them. So what are our expectations of employers, of you, if you join and work with us? So the primary thing is we are looking for you to be creating meaningful opportunities for learning with the students. We're looking for them to do career exploration and skill development. Now, what that means is wide and variable. One of the things, because I read the reflections that students write about, a number of students write about learning to make phone calls. So it doesn't have to be something radically, this is a completely new thing and people have never done it before. A meaningful work experience or skill development experience for students could be how to have a first conversation with a client, right? Or how to make a phone call. So there's lots of space here for what is meaningful. I don't want to scare anyone with that, but we are asking that you not just have them file papers, for example, or do only data entry. It's not really meant to be a temp job. This is really meant to be a meaningful work experience. So we would want data entry along with some other mentored work. We do ask that you offer some regular guidance to the interns. We ask that you create a learning agreement with the interns at the beginning where you set out expectations and learning goals for the students. And then we ask you to complete a mid-program evaluation, which actually we're going to be adding that into the next term, a mid-program evaluation, and then an end-of-term evaluation. And then we also ask that you approve the students' hours. Finally, we ask that you work within the semester timelines. This is really a requirement that we work within the semester timelines. We are entirely bound by the rules of the registrar. And so we need our partners to also partner with us on working within those semester timelines. If any issues come up, we are here to support both you and the student. So we really are here to mediate any issues that arise. So how does it work if you want to come and get involved? Well, you would first meet with me or my colleague, Kate Showalter, and we would discuss what would be a good fit for you and what your opportunities might look like. We can share some ideas with you. Then we would complete an employer form, and this is Rebecca's area of expertise. Rebecca has been working with our employer partners on creating what their opportunities will look like. And so we have a form that we ask you to complete that helps us then build the opportunities for you. So we create the forms that students will fill out to apply for your opportunities. Then you would review student intern applications and interview the students. So you go through and run your own application review process. And that usually is pretty condensed. It's about 2.5 weeks because we have this semester timeline. We try to give you a month, but everything is a bit tight. So it depends on when the students get their applications in. And then let us know what your plans are. Let us know when you've found a student that you want to work with. And then we ask that you try to begin that programming, begin your internship experience with the students by the first week of the term. So, if we have time, I see that I'm taking a little bit of time here. We can go through some of the opportunities that partners are offering this term, which I think it can be useful to see what it is that students are looking at and what they're considering doing. But let's, first I want to tell you what it looks like from the student side. So students, first of all, when they come in and they say, okay, I want to do the speed program. And at this point, I'm having about 3 students a day meet with me and say, okay, I want to do the speed program. And so when they come to me, I say the first part is complete the statement of intent form. And it's a form that they go to. It asks them for some basic information, and then it asks them to write about a paragraph about themselves and why they want to do this. What we're looking for here is that they meet the requirements, but also that they are thinking seriously about making a commitment to the program. So we're not looking really to get rid of students or to cut them out. We're looking to make sure that they are serious about the learning that they're going to do in the program. We recognize that you are making a commitment to us to take on students, and we need the students to also commit to you. So that's what we're looking for. Then we enroll them in a short, it takes about 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours to do, a career preparation course that we've built. And this has them revise their resume, think about their skills, work on some cover letter writing, and then also complete a practice interview with our team. We give them feedback on that, and that gets them ready to apply for opportunities directly with you. At that point, they review the opportunities that are available and they get access to the applications, and then they submit their applications to you. Then they interview with anyone who's invited them to interview. And during the interview, hopefully discuss the hours that they want to do and what their schedules look like, since that's a big part of finding a match. And then they either find a match and have an offer for an experience for the term, or they say, hey, it didn't work out this term, maybe I'll try again next term. If students are not participating in good faith, we remove them from the program. You won't continue to see them in future terms. And then they enroll in Uni 288. All right. So our usual semester timelines, like I said, we are bound to the semester. So our fall terms and spring terms are 15 weeks. They go falls from beginning of late August and it ends in mid-December. Spring goes from late January, about Martin Luther King Jr. Day, to early May. And then summer term is late May to early August. And for this particular term here, I've put the deadlines or the dates for the upcoming terms. We are currently enrolling students for summer and beginning to accept applications for fall. So we're currently still building for another about 2 weeks. We'll be building opportunities with partners for the summer, and then we'll shift to fall. So we're really starting to think about what would be a good opportunity for fall. All right. If this program, as I've described it, you're like, I think that working with UAlbany students might be good, I'm not sure that I'm prepared to sign on to this program. That's fine. There are other ways that you can also work with UAlbany students. You can offer independent internships in your organization, of course. If you want to do that and target UAlbany students, we can connect you with the Career Center. The Career Center has a platform called Handshake where they can help you promote your opportunity, and students can apply directly through Handshake to paid opportunities primarily. And they also have career fairs. So if you are interested in working with UAlbany students and have not yet gone to a career fair, I encourage you to sign up to be a partner at a career fair. Students come there, they're ready to find jobs, they are ready to go, they have their resume in hand, they look sharp, and it's a great opportunity. It's a great experience for them, and it's a great opportunity to connect with qualified students. Students can enroll in an applied learning course for an internship that they find. They can take the same course with me. So you don't have to be a partner for the students to receive credit. So just so you know, there are other ways for students to receive credit than the SPEED program. So if you have a student that you're working with, you can send them to me and I will help them find a way to get credit for the experience that they're having. And that can be paid or unpaid. And finally, if you are an alumni, if you're alum, there is an excellent mentoring network and mentoring events that are through the alumni office, and I would love to help you connect with those. So just let us know, and I'm sure the same goes for the incubator here, that if you are an alum, we can connect you with the Alumni Association so that you can be taking advantage of those events and networks as well. All right, so thank you so much for letting us come and talk you through the program. I hope that it makes sense as a set of processes. I know that there are a lot of programmatic aspects to it at this point, but we are looking for partners who are on board with really taking on an educational role in young professional development. And I believe that the startup space is one that is very attuned to this growth mindset that we're really hoping to develop for these students as they are developing in the professional space. So we hope that you will reach out and be in touch with us. And I believe that we have,
Yes. Thank you, Kate.
yeah,
Sise is
yeah,
here and
Sisei's
he
here,
has
exactly.
generously offered to share about his experience and answer questions that you might have about working with the students. So Sise, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I am Sisai Tandasarzo, the CEO and founder of Agile and Document LLC. It's an early stage startup based in Albany. We are working on a special type of wireless device. We are in a research product development stage. And yeah, while we're working, we started collaborating with Speed Program. We got now close to 7 people working with us, 7 interns from the SPEED program. And it has been great. The word that I would use to describe is simple process, and cost effective, and but also challenging. And you need to find a way to uh, uh, get start them to the point where you want them to contribute. So the simplicity of the acquiring them, the cost effectiveness is a great thing that you could use. But when you find any new person joining a startup, you have multiple things to do. You are busy. You want someone to help you. But in that sense, you will need to invest a little bit of time and in trying to create smaller tasks and then help them get started. And and then once they get the confidence, the energy, the ambition, the enthusiasm that you see from the students is amazing. And that's what we are observed. And we'll be looking for more students. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you. Yeah, I would take him up on his offer if you have questions about what this actually looks like in practice or what the process was like. Um,
Yeah, in terms of the process, I think Kate well described it well. You you get some information and send it to them, and based on this information, they put out the call, and students apply, and you directly get the application. You get the CV, their application, including the letters. And then based on that, you do the screening. We do the screening, and after the screening, we do quick interview, and we do it immediately. And after the interview, if we agree, both agree, and we like each other, it means, and then we move forward, and we accept, and we inform this to the student as well as to the in charge. I think Rebecca is the one that's I was communicating. So yeah, that's how we do.
we got a great question from Kelly in the chat. Are the students required to be in person?
Uh, for us, it's a mix. It was not mandatory that they be in person for the whole week, but 1 week or sometimes they do online, and we try to be flexible because we understand that they have, as we mentioned, 1 to 3 job. Even some people are working more, so that's we have to understand that. For that, the working remotely would be good. I know that, for example, recently we changed our website based on the help of our students. They did it on some of the work were done on the night. They were sending me, I want to log in, so can you send me this? So those are the things that they are willing. So they may work on the night, they may work on I don't know, evening, or maybe in the morning, early morning. So we're trying to adapt to their flexible hour. And now our website is updated, so that's one thing you could see.
That's great. I did have a question, Kate. I was curious, do you have any students that are currently working for like a pharmaceutical company or a company that's doing lab research? Are they actually working in the lab?
We do not currently have partners who are working in the pharmaceutical space, but we would love to develop those partnerships. We have students who are interested. And actually, we have here on campus, we have an advisor who's beginning to really work in the space of allied health professions. And so we've been thinking a lot about how to create internship opportunities in this allied health research space. And so we're thinking about public health, pharmaceuticals, and other kinds of imaging techniques, for example, where students could get a sense of what's available for them as internships, as professional opportunities in this space. Because lots of students come in thinking, oh, I want to do medicine, right? How many students come in thinking, oh, I'm pre-med? And how many of those students actually end up being pre-med is a much smaller set than the students who think that's what they want to do. And so we're really interested in developing opportunities across that kind of life sciences, biological related fields, because we have so many students who are interested in that area. So if anyone here has a connection or works in that space, please reach out if you would be interested in partnering. We have a lot of interest here.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. And I saw that you got another question too about what semester we would be looking at for the next round. We could probably fit in a few more partners for the summer. We're really starting to ramp up to get the students going for the summer. So we're trying to finish out. But if you're like, hey, I know I've got a good thing for the summer and I have time to get started, please let me know and we can probably fit you in for the summer still. But otherwise, we're thinking about the fall. So yeah, starting to shift toward the fall.
When I send out the follow-up email, I'll include all the contact information and the links and stuff. But it sounds like if you want somebody over the summer, you should contact Kate and Rebecca ASAP.
Yes, please reach out. And you can always reach out to minervacenter@albany.edu as just a general email, and we'll get that. And I do want to say we have lots of partners who are doing the hybrid experience sort of that Sisay is talking about, who are, students really benefit a lot from meeting in person. But exactly as Sisay said, it can be hard to meet in person every time they're working. And so lots of our partners are finding that a kind of hybrid situation where they have maybe one week it's a Zoom meeting and the next week everybody gets together in person, that there are regular ways to report on and check in about the work online in some fashion, and sort of expectations about communications being very explicitly set up ahead of time, so that students know how to connect and communicate about what's going on. Then they are very comfortable working online. And many of these students, you have to remember, they were in high school during the pandemic. And so they've been involved in online education for years now.
Yeah, if I may add, Slack, for example, we use Slack as a working environment so that students with another student or employee with the student can collaborate and can communicate actively. That's good collaboration environment. Slack type of environment. I'm not advocating Slack.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that kind of thing is also a possible way.
I think that's very helpful for students. But Sisay, I had a question for you, because you are one of the partners who is working with a bunch of students. Like you said, you have 7 students you're working with right now. Can you talk a little bit about how you structure that? And do you have students doing very different kinds of projects, or are they working on one project together?
All of them are working in different, but if you see it, they are working on software-defined product. But when you come in, there are a lot of different features that we want to add. So someone working on modulation, someone working on hardware, someone working on the coding. So each by itself would have to be like, if you're giving them that project at first, it would scare them. It may not be moving. So even within their project, you need to divide. You need to have your magic working at first. You need to do some breaking and then helping them get started, in a sense. When they do something, they feel confident, and then after some time, you see that they will be themselves taking care of more wider project, more wider tasks than at first. So that kind of things has to happen first. Yeah.
Thank you. And I asked that in part. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt, Fred. Go ahead, Fred.
Jump in here, sorry to, I have to say, I've been working with Sisay as well too here, and we have about 7 or 8 of the interns this year, and we juggle them around amongst our different entities here at the central bid and the STEAM area here. But so we've been able to get them going, and a few of them have been working remotely, and some have been here regularly. So it's it's going pretty well, but it's a little hectic juggling them all get there.
Yeah, so I think Fred is talking about how they have to report their hours, and we have to make sure that they're completing their hours. And we're really trying to figure out the right way to do
Yeah,
this.
it hasn't been too bad, but you have to, like right now, one of the students had the wrong email or something, so.
Yeah. So
It works out. It works out pretty well.
yeah. Yeah, and we don't want it to be a big burden on the partners, of course, but at the same time, we don't want the students not paying attention to the hours they're completing and then realizing on April 15th, oh, I have 3 weeks and I have to do all my hours. So we're trying to make sure they're, staying up. Yeah, but one of the things, and I really love to say how you were talking about this, because you're obviously such an educator. And so this is the thing that I've loved most about this program is realizing that we have educators all around us, and that actually our businesses are led, many of our small businesses are led by educators, really natural educators, because you're saying, look, you have to chunk it up and you have to give the students something that's really accessible and confidence building for them. And then they grow into what you want them to ultimately do. And I think that is, I just want to say, just beautiful. And that is the path to success for these students. So thank you for being that.
Yeah, I got to see that firsthand at the demo day. I was like super impressed by like how much ownership the students had over their particular pieces of the project that they were working on. It was super impressive. All right, I don't see any more questions. So, anybody want to pop in? You can put it in the chat, raise your hand. Fred, you wanted to say something?
You guys in May have some type of a big showcase day there on campus. Forget the exact date of that.
Yeah, yes. So
I signed up for that, but I want to try to does that give an opportunity to do some tabling so we can bring some information about our programs?
that is a great question, and I will get an answer to that. I don't know. The showcase was organized a little bit late this year. It's on April 30th. I will send an invitation. I'll put a slide in the show about showcase so that you can sign up if you want to come. Showcase is a wonderful event. It is very hectic. All of the students across the university, graduate and undergraduate, are presenting on their work. So it's thousands of students in different parts of the campus presenting. But it is a great opportunity to connect with people on campus. Yeah.
I wonder if they had like a tabling area for the different entities like ours or not. So
that's a great idea, and I'm not sure that we have that in the past, but it would be a great thing to add for a future term. Yeah, and one thing that we're looking at building into the program that we don't currently offer, but are more opportunities for our partners to be networking with other partners as well as with other offices here on campus. So that's targeted one of the things that we're hoping to be able to identify and start to support over the next year.
Yeah, I mean, I can say a little more about the tabling for showcase in general. It's not something that they do. The event is very student focused, and it's really just all about the students. So,
Right, okay.
but it's a great opportunity to come and walk around and meet students.
Yeah, I probably will do that. I just,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've done some tabling at some of the other colleges that have little, internship, employment days, that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could contact the Office of Career Services and
Yeah.
ask about their events.
Yeah,
All right, good question though. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more questions, so we'll get about 10 minutes back in a day. I will send out an email with a link to the recording, the slide deck, and all the contact information. Rebecca put in the chat the email address for the Minerva Center. So especially if you're interested in getting started this summer, email them today, I would say. Just seize the moment. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to Kate and Rebecca for being here, for Sisay for being here, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Nice seeing you guys on.
You too, you too.
Nice seeing you.
Hi,
Good to see you, Sisay.
Okay,
thank
bye,
you so much. Thank you for all you
Bye.
do for our
thank you,
students.
bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.